Hey everyone, I've been using the Galaxy Fold 6 for over a month now. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I'll explain more in this review, but first, some disclosures. I personally bought this phone. Samsung has no feedback or editorial control over this video. These are all my honest opinions. Let's start with the design. I love this candy bar shape when it's folded. It's narrow enough to comfortably hold the phone with one hand, which is great for taking photos and videos with one hand and just using the phone in general with one hand. The material and build quality feels very premium too. You'll be spending a lot of money for this phone, so it's great that the hardware feels high-end as well. I went with the blue one, but I was 50-50 on this color and the silver one, but I think I made the right choice. The hinge is great. It's stiff so that you can unfold the phone at any angle. This is really helpful, especially when watching YouTube videos while the Fold 6 is on the table. The thickness of this phone did not bother me at first, which made a lot of sense at first. It's a phone that folds, so understandably it'll be a bit thick, but then I held an Honor Magic V3 a couple of weeks after I got this phone, and immediately this felt too thick. I think it'll be the same experience for other people. The thickness of the Fold 6 won't bother you until you hold a thinner folding phone. I do love what Samsung did with the bezels here. The hinge on the left side does not stick out, which bothers me a lot when I'm looking at the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. It's huge on that folding phone. There's a big section on the left side of that phone when it's folded. When I'm looking at the Fold 6, I mostly see the display. Same with the bigger inner display. Love the small bezels on the Fold 6. The crease is not very noticeable when I'm normally using it. It's only noticeable when I'm trying to look for it, like tilting the phone from side to side. Without looking at the specs, both the outer and inner displays look great to me. Both look sharp with excellent colors. Even outdoors, I don't have a hard time using this phone while I'm outside. I only notice a difference when I'm using the camera and I'm switching between the two displays. The outer display is noticeably sharper and a bit more contrasty to my eyes. And of course, since it is a very expensive phone, I prefer to add some protection to the body. I don't like thick cases, so I usually go with the super thin aramid cases like this one from Pitaka. This is not sponsored, but they usually send over cases for review. I also like that this has MagSafe support, so I can use MagSafe accessories like my mini tripods. The power button and volume controls are on the right side. Just note that the power button is below the volume controls. On Pixel, the power button is usually above the volume controls. So this runs on Android 14 out of the box with Samsung's added twist to it. For example, it will have Bixby, Samsung Store, Samsung Wallet, Samsung Gallery, Samsung Browser. Personally, I prefer the cleaner and simpler UI on Pixel devices, but more advanced users will like the option to customize their phones even more. I do like that it's easy to use other default apps. So for example, I prefer to use Google Photos, Google Wallet, Gemini, and Google Chrome, and I can use those apps instead without any issues at all. So people will buy this phone because of the additional usage you get when having a second bigger screen. For example, I love the YouTube experience, bigger screen to watch videos as well, being able to read comments while watching videos on a bigger display. Browsing is also so much better with the bigger screen. You see a lot more information. I don't have a car yet here in KL, so I use Grab a lot of times to get around, and this Galaxy Fold 6 is perfect on those car rides. It's like having a tablet, but I can fold it and put it in my pocket. However, the user experience is not perfect. The front screen is narrow, so there will be times when you wish it was a bit wider. App compatibility is still an issue. For example, the Lazada app, which is like the Amazon here in Malaysia, it looks weird in the bigger display. The buttons are way too big. It's not optimized. Instagram is another example. If I open the app from the smaller screen, then unfold the phone to the bigger screen, I'm not able to tap on IG stories to go to the next story. I could still swipe to go to the next person. However, I hope this bug gets fixed real soon. The cameras are good. If you have good lighting, you'll be happy with the videos and photos. In low light, the ultra wide is not that great, so in those situations, I recommend shooting with the 1x lens. The optical zoom is also only at 3x. Other flagships like the S24 Ultra, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and Pixel 9 Pro all have 5x optical zoom, so if you're planning to zoom in a lot, just know that those images won't look as sharp as the other flagship phones. On the other hand, the Galaxy Fold 6 and other folding phones have a feature that non-folding phones phones don't have. I love that I'm able to use the front display as a viewfinder even when I'm using the main cameras. But ultimately, one of the problems with folding phones is that the cameras are not as great as compared to non-folding phones. So really, you have to ask yourself which features are more important to you. If cameras are high priority, then phones that don't fold will have better cameras. So if you're interested in vlogging with the Galaxy Fold 6, this is how it looks and sounds. I'm using the ultra-wide lens, and I'm also using the front display as my viewfinder to help keep me in frame. I'm also moving around, so check the stabilization. Let me move to where the light is behind me. Check out if it changes the shadows and colors. Okay, and go back to where the main light is right in front of me. Let me know how it looks. Let me know how it sounds. To continue with other things I don't like about the Fold 6, I noticed that charging is slow, battery life is fine, I could get a full day of usage, but I just need to make sure to charge the phone while I'm sleeping, because if I need to go to work the next day, charging the phone while showering and getting ready in the morning won't be enough time to get it back to 100%. I also noticed the Wi-Fi isn't as reliable compared to other phones. Our bathroom gets weak Wi-Fi signal, and the Fold 6 struggles the most compared to other phones I've used. I would need to turn off and turn on the Wi-Fi connection on the Fold 6 to reconnect to my router. So notice how I haven't even mentioned AI. Samsung and pretty much every other phone brands talk about it right now. Personally, I feel Gemini is very useful. I use it to help me draft emails, voiceovers, and even brainstorm some ideas. I haven't really used the other AI features on this phone like sketch to image, where the phone can generate objects on your existing photos. It's great to check out and try, but not something I would use frequently. So to wrap this up, I love and hate the Galaxy Fold 6. I love the narrow form factor since it's easier to handle with one hand when it's folded, but I also don't like that the front display is not wide enough when using some apps. The camera is good, but I love sharing photos and creating content, so it bothers me knowing that this is one of the most expensive phones but doesn't have the best camera. On the other hand, I love that I could use the front display as a viewfinder when using the main cameras. For now, I think I'll go back to a non-folding phone. I'll reconsider using a folding phone again if it's thin, has a wider screen, and has a camera that's just as good as the other flagship phones. So that's my review of the Galaxy Fold 6. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.